end of it, it may not work. But the reason why relationships with people who are afraid of commitment don't work is not because maybe the person doesn't have genuine feelings for their partner or is not deeply in love with them. It's just because, like you said, they do not understand the structure of a successful relationship.
Right.
And they just need to be prepared and walk through the stages to get to the point where they're like, okay, I know what I'm doing and I'm ready to do it.
Okay, all right. So I'll come back to you, Phoebe. Let me come into the studio. Now, Chitam,
Okay.
You've heard Phoebe has said quite a lot. Now let's look at how relationships were from our grandparents, and in fact relationships, marriages. They seem to have a stronger bond, stronger relationship, marriages than today. Before we talk about what could possibly be influencing how things are in relationships today, what do you think they were doing right at that time?
Times are different. You can't compare how my grandfather married my grandmother to today. In those days, you may not even know the woman. They'll bring the woman to you, that this is your wife, you have to marry. And they'll tell the woman that this is your husband, you have to listen to him, whatever he will say. But when you compare it today, there was a lot of abuse.
Okay.
People were not respecting women. And today things have changed. Women are more enlightened. Women are more understanding of themselves. Some of them can go without a man and they don't care.
Right.
So when you want to compare that era to today, you have a problem with your relationship.
Okay.
You have a big problem with your relationship.
Okay.
Because things have changed.
Things have changed.
You can't expect your wife to cook for you every day. Because when you are leaving, she's also leaving. So if you expect your wife to cook for you every day as a sign of submission to the relationship, you have a problem. Because those days are gone.
They're gone. They're not like today.
You understand?
Right.
So you can't compare. There was a kind of fear that this is your husband, you have to obey him. It's good to obey your husband today, but you cannot compare those days to today. Now the problem is that you can't build any successful relationship without having knowledge. The bottom line is knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, your relationship will crash. It's not a guesswork. You need to have knowledge. Understand even the woman and how you can meet her emotional needs. So it is quite different from the olden days. Everything based on understanding and having knowledge about the relationship. Research have shown that 70% of relationships don't work. 20% is lifeless. It's only 10% that works. How will you become part of the 10%? There are things you need to do to ensure that you are part of the 10%. And love is not a prerequisite for successful marriage. You can't build your relationship on love. It will crash. You really need to work it out. You need to be committed to the relationship and make sure that you are working on it as you are working on your career. So you should ask yourself that, what kind of effort are you putting in your relationship? If you have more time for your career, for your business and other things than your relationship, and you expect it to work, it will not work. It also requires the same attention. I always tell people that, look, your children can wait for your marriage to grow, but your marriage cannot wait for your children to grow. The same thing. Your business can wait for your marriage to grow. Your marriage cannot wait for your business to grow. So you have all the achievement and all these, but there's a big problem at home because you have not given the needed attention to the relationship. And you think, oh, we love each other, it will work. It will not work. You need to put in a lot of effort to work on the relationship, lay the foundation. So when problems come, the relationship will be able to stand the test of time.
Now, looking at today, and I want to come to you, Phoebe. Can you hear me, Phoebe?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I
so
can.
looking at today, how it's like casual relationships are, you know, is the new-ish, is a new thing in town. Casual relationships is becoming a thing in recent times. And so how would you say that technology is a huge or one of the main contributors to this happening in recent times?
It's very interesting. That was one of the points I put down, that we have, it's very interesting,
Right.
that we have, it's like things are just going through a revolving door. We are like in a fast food, fast-tracked society. Everything is prompt. We see everybody and what they're doing on a daily basis. Everything is so exposed. There's hardly any secrecy. There's no privacy.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing too with the use of social media is that we are encouraged most of the times to put up a false image of ourselves. It's not real. That is not the real person. That's not the real relationship. We don't usually see the ugly side of life. Everything is romanticized. It is sensationalized. It's not real. So if you're using that as the basis of your future expectations, you are sorely, misguided.
Yeah.
And so we need to have a more realistic, more grounded, more truthful representation of, individuals and of relationships. We need to speak about the real issues that we are facing and how difficult it is, to come together. It's not as simple as what a man should do and what a wife should do per se. But I believe it's more about having an understanding of how the union works as opposed to what the individuals want. Now, if you have that mindset where it's all about me and what I like and what I prefer, and I don't want to do anything that will cost me, or I don't want to do anything that will inconvenience me, a relationship will be very difficult for you. We all come from different backgrounds, from different homes, we have different understandings. And so the process of getting into a relationship is a process of, understanding, of compromise, of listening, of, showing compassion towards the other person. And it's not just about you. And through that process, you also grow and learn more about yourself. You learn that you have a greater capacity to forgive, to understand that person, and to love them, and to encourage them towards what they want to do and all their future aspirations. Now, I know some people think, is this possible? Yes, it is. But it starts with you, not that person. It starts with you.
Right.
And I just wanted to say that one of the issues that we have, as you were talking about social media, is the lack of our ability to endure delayed gratification. So certain things require more time to come to fruition, or to flower, or to make sense. I remember when my husband and I got married, and I was like, why isn't everything just working now?
Right.
And he's like, Phoebe, some of these things take time. We are still getting to know each other. We are still learning how to adjust to each other's needs. So it takes time. I remember I was like, no, but we did all the counseling. We have all the information. Why isn't it working today? But then this generation also needs to understand that certain things do require time.
Right.
And at least, I'm grateful to say that we have a way better relationship now. We get along so much better. But if we hadn't endured the hard times and had the patience to get to know each other, even through those difficult times, then we wouldn't be enjoying the reward of where we are now. And it's the same thing with relationships. They require time. They require patience, and I also believe that it requires the support of trusted counselors. I believe that over the course of time, even after marriage, it's not just about pre-marriage counseling. I think during the marriage, when a couple is struggling, they need to be able to find help when they need it.
Yeah.
Because we don't know everything, and every stage represents a new challenge that we need to tackle, sometimes with help.
Okay. Now, for somebody that is, scared of being in a committed relationship, but, it's like, okay, wants to be in a relationship, but ends up being in a casual one. I don't know, but is it right that a relationship is used to sort of like correct or mend certain things about the person individually, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it looks like the other person could be suffering, could be on the, you know, like the suffering end. Because it's like you're using the relationship to correct certain things about you. Is it right? Or you would have to just be by yourself, do a lot of corrections, and then acquire knowledge like you, Chitam, you mentioned, before you decide to go into a relationship.
You can't do that.
You can't.
Because everything that you know is theory. You need to practice the knowledge that you have acquired.
At the expense of someone's happiness.
No. That is why there are ground rules when it comes to casual relationship.
Okay.
If you don't know the rules or you don't set the rules right, you have problem.
What are some of the ground rules you should set?
One, you should be truthful to yourself.
Okay.
Then you must set boundaries.
Okay.
So we know that the two of us is a casual relationship.
Oh.
We will not do A, B, C, D. And you must respect those boundaries.
Okay.
And the essence of this relationship is to know each other.
Okay.
And you should know what you expect and what you will accept. So when you are in a casual relationship, there are certain things I will not expect from you. I will not accept it from you. There are certain gifts when you give me, I will not receive it. Because it's not part of the game. So that is a problem that we have.
Right.
We don't understand what casual relationship is. What is the purpose of the casual relationship? And what do we want to achieve? So when you set the ground rules, you will not be hurt at the end of the day if the person walks out. Because I don't expect anything from you. It's to know each other. And you see that we can build something out of it. But if from day one you get committed and sending certain messages and expecting the man to do this or the woman to do this, and the person says, okay, I don't think you are the right person, I want to move on, then you are hurt. But you must set the ground rules.
So at what point, okay, so how would you deal, or how should one deal with, you know, okay, he or she is in a casual relationship and then the other person starts, you know, feeling that I want to be committed, I want you to be committed, and start being demanding. How would you handle that?
The two of you have to come together and discuss it.
Okay.
Because what you feel for me might be different from what I feel for you. So if I don't feel the same thing, you need to give the person time.
Yeah.
You understand?
Okay.
You need to give the person time. Oh, I feel something for you.
Right.
I want us to move this relationship to the next level.
Okay.
I don't feel the same thing. Can you give me time?
Okay.
Then, if the person really means business, he's going to give you time. When I proposed to my wife, we're all friends. He said, I don't know you. I said, okay. I became a friend almost 2 years.
Okay.
Never mentioned of the relationship, normal friends. And one day I asked her, are you still interested? Or you are not ready?
Okay.
She was that. For the 2 years we became friends, never mentioned of anything about the relationship, never repeated, normal friends. Because she said, I don't know you. So now I have to make sure she will know me.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let me come to you, Phoebe. I'll come back to you, Chitam. Phoebe, what would you say about this? The question I asked Chitam.
I would say that it is very risky to use a relationship to fix yourself. And I think it's unfair.
Right.
To use a relationship to fix yourself.
Right.
And in fact, I was just contemplating the idea that is there such a thing as a casual relationship? I don't think the two words go together very well. I mean, I think the relationship that we are trying to describe is one where there's intimacy, there's an exchange of trust. There could even be, you know, sexual intimacy. And such a thing, can you call it casual? And, you know, we've seen several times that, you know, it's the woman that is usually on the end where she obviously she does enjoy it when the man treats her in a casual manner, especially when she's committed her feelings and emotions to the relationship. So I think we need to be very careful. If a relationship is supposed to be casual, then I think it should be a friendship.
Right.
And then it should have, the understanding that it's a friendship where their boundaries, the expectations are lower. And then the other person is not being exploited or does not feel that they're being taken for granted.
Yeah.
A relationship is not the place to play games and to try out. I think that when two people come into that conversation and they're looking at taking it a step further and they want to, have a secure commitment, a place of trust, a place where they know they'll be safe and that their feelings will not be exploited and the person is not going to be seeing somebody else.
Yeah.
I think it is important to have that conversation where they know there's exclusivity and they understand that, okay, we are looking to signing up to do something for the long term. We want to build something long term together. I think it's very important for them to have that conversation and express those desires, express those needs clearly before, they go into it. And if one person finds out that the other person doesn't want it, exit.
Right.
It's that simple.
Okay. Earlier, Chita mentioned, being knowledgeable about exactly what you want or what you expect or how a relationship truly should be before you go into one. Now, if one wants to acquire such knowledge, how does he or she do that? Because somebody would say that, okay, maybe when I put myself in a relationship and then as time goes on, that's when I'll be learning. That's when I'll start correcting things, knowing what I could. Maybe I'm not supposed to do this, do that correctly, do that rightly. So at what point would you say that, okay, no, get this knowledge before, or maybe it is okay for you to do it during a relationship?
That's the sad thing. We were not supposed to do these things in relationships. We're supposed to do these things as we're growing up. As we're relating to other people, not in a relationship. We're supposed to do this. Our parents are supposed to help us understand these things before we get married. We were supposed to see healthy examples of relationships. You should see your father treating your mother with honor, with respect, with love. You should see your mother doing the same thing with your dad. You should see these examples. You should be talked through these things before you even get to that point where and to be honest, a lot of people are very confused. Yeah. They're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. I don't have a roadmap for marriage, for relationships. Marriage, the word marriage scares a lot of people. Right. And that's why I think we reduced it to just a wedding day, because the idea of spending a long time with somebody else and building a legacy with them, a lot of people don't trust that person. They don't know if that person is going to disappoint them. But it didn't just come up. They didn't see a healthy example of this growing up. If they had, that fear and that anxiety will not take over them so much that they're saying, I want the intimacy, but I don't want to make a commitment because I'm afraid it won't work. Wow. That is what it is. I want the closeness, but I'm afraid it won't work. You have people who've been in a relationship for 5-7 years, they can't get married. It's not because they don't want to, it's because they're afraid. Because my mom and my dad got divorced, or somebody now, close to us, it didn't work. My aunties, my uncles on TV, my friends, it's not working. So why should I take that leap? At least if we are just in a relationship and something goes wrong, I can just walk out. But if you use marriage, it has to go through a whole process. And I'm just scared of making that commitment. Let's just leave it here. But if you look into it, you realize that that person probably has that longing, but does not have the understanding. And that is what we need to work on. We shouldn't encourage people to try it out together because it's risky. Risky. The emotional trauma can be horrible. And so we should try and prepare them before they get to know someone or they're attracted to someone and they're thinking, I'd like to give this a go. At least I have that understanding before they make that step.
So in this case, parents, have a lot of work to do in here. Parents, so guardians. So much work. Wow, okay.
There's so many unprepared people. So many. people. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Phoebe. I'm going to come back to you, but then viewers, the phone lines are being open now. The phone number is on your screen currently. It will be on your screen pretty shortly, so you can call in and then send in your suggestions. What do you think about casual relationships, and then how relationships are in recent times, and then also our relationships seeming or being less committed in recent times. So you can call in and then send in your suggestions. If you have, some level of experience that you would love to share, or you're experiencing some sort of problem, Cheetham and Phoebe are here. You can call in and then you let us know. And then I'm pretty sure they'll do their best to help you as well. And so the phone lines are open now. You can start calling in. Now, Cheetham, so... I mean, this whole thing is, I don't know, it's like, briefly put, if you are not ready, don't try to go into a relationship.
Ready in asking when?
I mean, because going into a relationship, you should have a goal. That is the essence of going into a relationship.
You see, one thing you should understand that it's not every relationship that will end up in marriage. You should have it at the back of your mind.
Okay, Cheetham, kindly hold on. Okay, so we have Dede on the line. Good morning, Dede.
Good morning, Auntie.
How are you?
I'm good. And you?
Fine, thank you. We are listening to you, please.
I thank you for this suggestion. See, I don't understand everything going on around me.
Around you?
Yeah, because I have this guy around and going on. But I got into other relationships and I don't understand them. It's like when I go small, then I'll end it. It's equal to a casual relationship because, like, I'm not looking up to something. Like, nothing is coming. I'm not doing anything for that relationship. Should I end that one and focus on the one I think it should be good?
Oh, okay.
Because I'm thinking it should be good or it's good. Because that one too, I've started seeing that, it can end somewhere, it can bring me something good. But the other one, I don't, sometimes too, it hits me with the tribe they are coming from.
Okay.
Sometimes I think of their time, I'm like, nah, I've worked with this guy before, he's from this tribe. This is how the person is behaving. And it's like, the next person is from the same tribe, and I don't understand.
Okay.
So should I leave the tribe and go for someone else?
Okay. All right, Dede. Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So, Cheetham, would you want to answer her?
Yeah. You see, tribe has nothing to do with the success of a relationship. Right. You must learn to manage the diversities of relationship.
Okay.
And one of the primary diversity has to do with ethnicity or culture. So as we grow in life, some of these things may happen in your life. She might be doing something that is not right herself.
So with Dede in particular, her story is like a trend with a particular tribe.
Yes.
That she ends up with. It's like, yes, that's what they keep on doing to her. And so there's a conclusion now that with this particular tribe, not.
No, I don't want her to go on that tangent. It will not help her. Because you may get a good guy coming from the same tribe. What will he do? She has to look at other factors that is affecting the relationship. Okay. The tribe might be one. She should look at other issues and table all those ones and find a way to resolve them. Okay. She should look into herself. What is she not doing right?
Maybe she could be the problem. Okay.
It is. You have to be the right person than marrying the right person.
Okay, Cheetham, hold our thoughts. So we have Abdul Aziz on the line. Good morning, Abdul.
Yeah, good morning to you and then your panelists. In fact, let me just say you people are doing a very wonderful work. I've been monitoring the program from the beginning.
Thank you.
And then I love everybody's presentation. But look, hey, I have a problem here. Okay. Yes, where you tell us that people will be in a relationship for about 7 years and fear to getting into marriage. What is the essence of you getting into a relationship of 7 good years? What do you do in that relationship? It doesn't sound well. If we're into a relationship and you think you cannot get married. Don't even extend up to 7 years.
Yeah.
So do you think that since that 7 good years, you people have been within yourself and you have nothing to do? Some of you go there, then you get to give birth, then later you say, oh, I broke up with that person, and you go to join another person. See, it doesn't sound.
Yeah.
So I believe that if you think you are not ready to marry, then you see the person is not ready to marry you. Find out who marry. At least 1 year is enough. Don't extend it up to 7 good years. Do you think 7 years? You will say like that.
Right.
So I really get that place as a very confused, but I love the way you have presented this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Abdul. And we have our next caller on the line. Good morning, Erica.
Yes, hello.
Hi. Can you speak to us? Erica, can you please speak up a little for us so we can hear you audibly?
Okay.
Yes.
My problem is I'm in a relationship with this guy here, and we were friends for like 2 years, and later on he proposed and I accepted him.
Okay.
But like how we were before is not the same as we are now. Like I've seen changes, and I felt him more we were friends than being in a relationship now. And when he cheats and I asked him that, are you cheating? He be like, no. But later on he told me that I'm cheating, and Erica, I'm sorry, please, I'm sorry. I just don't know whether I should continue with the relationship or is it a casual one, because like we do everything. So I want to know more of the casual relationship, because I don't know if this relationship is going to work for us, because he will see the tell me that he is cheating. I just don't know. I'm just confused, and I really love him too.
Oh, okay, Erica. All right. Thank you so much for calling. I want to come to you, Phoebe. Now, Phoebe, Abdul called and he says that, 7 years in a relationship, what are you doing there? And, maximum should be 1 year you get married. If you don't see anything positive coming out of it, just walk out. Yeah. What would you say in relation to that first, before we come to Erica?
I think I agree with Abdul. 1 year is stretching it. I think what he's trying to say is get to know the person as soon as possible. Right. And also state clearly what you're going into. I'm not saying, people say tell them your expectations, but explain clearly what you see in that relationship, the kind of relationship, the kind of commitment that you want to create. Do you want to be exclusive with that person? Yeah. Are you looking to get married? Would you like to have children? There are much bigger things to discuss and to consider, when it comes to this. And I think you need to answer the big questions and say the big things from the beginning. You shouldn't wait till later on and then discover that, that person actually never wanted to get married or doesn't want to have children when you do. Make that very clear from the beginning. And I quickly wanted to mention that, cultural and religious, cultural and religious factors also play into relationships. And I don't think we can cast that aside. Okay. With a lady that mentioned that she experienced something from a particular type of man from a particular tribe. Yeah. I actually wanted to really sit down and write down exactly what she had experienced and what she had observed. Sometimes we have to be a bit forensic about this. We need to be very clear about this. Okay. What has she seen? What is it about men from that tribe that is problematic for her? And really sit with it and really examine it carefully for herself. But then the reason why she's probably a bit confused is she doesn't know what she wants. Right. And that is what I wanted to say to Erica, that you really need to sit down, take a sheet of paper on your phone, whatever, and write down exactly what you were expecting from this relationship. Because it sounds like you were expecting more than he's willing to give. Right. If you were looking for a monogamous relationship, in no way, shape, and form should you entertain him being unfaithful to you. And if they are doing it once and he's confessed it to you, he will do it again. Especially if he's accepting of it, because it shows that you don't have a problem with it. And this is one of the terms that you want to include in your relationship. Okay, Phoebe. And my dear, it's really important to just sit with it really examine yourself and really express what you're looking for in that relationship.
All right, Phoebe, thank you very much, Cheetah. I mean, unfortunately, it's time for us to wrap up, but then before we go, anything that you want to put out there in relation to this topic? Yeah.
Okay. All that I want to say is that you can't succeed in any relationship or married relationship when you don't have the requisite knowledge. Knowledge is a key. You can't start to drive when you don't know how to drive. So you need to acquire knowledge, buy books, attend marriage seminars, then have the understanding of what you're about to do, so that when you enter, you may make some mistakes. At the initial stage, it's allowed to make some mistakes at the initial stage, and you learn out of it and build on it.
All right. Thank you very much, Cheetah. Thank you, Phoebe, for coming through and giving us your, insightful knowledge about this topic. Thank you so much. So I have been speaking with, via Zoom, Mrs. Phoebe Gbesemete, who is a family counselor. And then in the studio with me today is Cheetah Bartels, who transports leadership and relationship advisor. Thank you so much, viewers. Thank you for calling to send in your thoughts and your suggestions and your questions as well. This is where we end Let's Talk Relationship on today's edition of Prime Morning. There's another awesome conversation coming your way tomorrow. Ghana is playing against Uruguay. And so you wouldn't want to miss out on this conversation at all. Do stay tuned.
Go make a big so balance. Sound up. Ah boy, make a ball run this one, it be good one there. You know reason why everybody call me man check. Turn me up, make a do I'm jet. Skip pace out the fuel my sweat. Okay, drop that here, my full light up. Be my kerosene now they come light up. You worried but you carry swallow to Allah as to see me. So 1,000, 1,000, aka aha you do. 1,000, 1,000. Man I don't be na borrow 1,000, 1,000. That time when I follow 1,000, 1,000. Now if you ask one, I give you overdose. Was born in the struggle, mama grow me with us so every day. I read never pepper. A new level, new devil. Yeah, new devil. Gentility make them do melody. Say money be root of all evil. Okay. Then allow me to be set an impope. Or mock it. I see wolf you. The realm was never built in a day. Oh, 1,000. 1,000. AKA aha you do. 1,000. Why? But I don't be na borrow 1,000. 1,000. That time when I follow. Wow, 1,000. Now if you ask one, I give you overdose. That means chronic form who go show you the keys. No rich man, make them big with the monthly salary or rupa. Ache. Hi, we never let you go. Meet them in Yao. Whoa, whoa. Hi, from here to Fernando Po. Baby Mogo. Whoa, I fool. We there together. I say my love, what did baby do or die? Baby do or die. Whoa, I say my love, what did baby do or die? Baby do or die. Whoa, yeah, my I man check 1 2 1 2 and I miss you all the found food. So I won't chop love na me deeper. Do na for the share then I got to do. Say till I confirm you. 1 minute Pia me in a move. Wow. Hey, you feel ask who you do all the messy book. This love is better than approved by FDA. Happy Muslim me, you be SDA. Swagging at it, say MDK in a DA like MBA. And my love, what did me do all die? Baby do all die. I say my love, what did me do all die? Baby do all die. You full of, you full of. To you, my ex, say, if you be the boss, say, we go carry me to the promised land. Then I get White honey mutana for my love. Let's go palm in the government law. Mandela catapults me to the throne. And this alone fire control. I'm a love. Baby do all that. Baby do all that. Oh, see, I'm a love. What did baby do all that? Baby do all that. You full of. You full of.
Med Mix Original. It's music.
Legendary man. Hey, everybody
Ha! This is music. Straight up. All the way from the man Chaka in the building. Make some noise.
Thank you.
Man. Charlie. Beautiful jam.
Thank you.
But, like, okay, so, first of all, let's talk about you. Where are you coming from? Where did you erupt from? You're like volcano. What happened, man? Like, where have you been hiding? And how did you just come out?
It's been 7 years. Started way back from Ashaiman. You know, it hasn't been easy, you know, but we keep moving.
7 good years.
Yeah.
What have you been doing in the dark? This is talent, man. Like,
trying to get
crazy. Crazy. How's the journey been? Like, how have you been able to just, keep up with it? Even though there are too many forces.
Yeah. You know our industry. You know?
Yeah.
When you start at fresh, you have to, pass some through hustling and tussling before you get to where you want to get to. But for God being so great, I've got a team, Hit Music, a new record label that I'm signed to.
Okay.
And they are doing their very best.
Nice one.
They are doing their very best. Big ups to you, Hit Music.
I mean,
love whatever you're doing.
You see, the thing is that they're not gonna spend their money for nothing, because from what we're seeing right now,
thank you.
Music, stagecraft, like this is what this is all about. Yeah. And I'm excited that they've got the right person to just push their money into
sometimes,
right now.
Sometimes it even gives me pressure. Like what they are doing.
Yeah.
It's so exceptional. Yeah.
So how many songs do you have out there?
For now, I have 2 songs out there.
Okay.
Onapo and Accra Fanfula. But with the Stonebwoy thing, it's just an intro.
Okay.
But
you sound like him. You dance like him. I'm not saying you're trying to copy him or anything like that. But I like the fact that you've got something right from him.
The thing is, we learn from our bosses. Actually, I based in Odoko, but it's a Ashaiman where I started doing this music thing. So, but now I'm in Odoko.
He knows you somewhere. Knows you've met him before.
No, never.
I mean, like, come on. This is incredible talent. I love it. I love it. So what genre do you want to classify yourself?
Okay, my favorite genres, like, I'm into high life, Afro fusion and Afro dancehall.
Okay.
I do these 3, but I cut across. As a musician, you have to try to be versatile in any aspect of genre, so that if like any genre that comes on, you can
still move along with it. Wow, I see. The name is Chaka, spending some time with us right here in the studio. You've got another one. There's another
Onapo.
one. Onapo. Let's check into Onapo right now.
The most trending one.
Yeah, man. Let's check into it right now. Drop it.
Get your dancing shoes into their house. You know them for my story. Now you come for the glory. Listen, I used to pump you go pop baby. My one in Kawamune was a wine lady. Now all that maybe was part over you crazy. Funny enough like DKB. Now it's 3, oh baby, another year best me up AKG. We John Mayana na hejumanesi. When give me weekend, Mama love again, may forget oh.